today's video, I'm going to do 2 Motovlog challenges in one video. So the 2 challenges are going to be, there's one from Goofy Bastard where you do a 1 camera, 1 take video without cutting or editing or doing any changes to it. And the second one I'm going to do is one that I've seen Harley Gurl and Harley Throttle do on their channels. 5 things you didn't know about me. So let's roll that intro and we'll start right as soon as I get back. Things you didn't know about me. So number 5. I was actually born on the east coast of Canada. I was born in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. When I was born though, I was left in the hospital. I was left there for adoption. And back in the 60s, if you didn't get adopted out of the hospital, you ended up in an orphanage. But lucky for me, a family from New Brunswick adopted me and got me out of the hospital when I was 3 months old and never looked back ever since. Number 4. When I was young, I actually aspired to be a professional golfer. All I ever wanted to do was be a professional golfer. I started when I was about 11, and I think by the time I was about oh, excuse me, there's an unedited part. The time I was about 18 years old, I actually qualified for San Diego Golf Academy in the States, but it was so expensive to go there, and Mom did everything she could to get a bursary or scholarship, but it wasn't a recognized program at that time. So I couldn't get any assistance, so from there I decided to start chasing after real life. When I was about 21, I finally got into, quote, real work. Anyhow, the highlight of my golfing career there is when I was 15 years old, I actually had enough tournament wins, my handicap was low enough that I qualified to caddy in a professional golf tournament. And on one of the rounds on the back 9, I actually ran into Arnold Palmer on the tee box. They were in the group ahead of us, and I had a conversation with them while they were waiting to tee off. And that was about a highlight of that stage of life. Number 3, something else you might not know about me. Well, actually, I'm a grade 10 dropout. I had an issue in grade 10 that I took issue with, if you want to call it that. We used to have to take our tests in the gymnasium where everybody takes it together. And this was the math test in grade 10. And I was natural with math. It was almost like a Rain Man thing. I could just see it in my head and I could answer it. So it was a 3-hour test and I finished in less than an hour. And we didn't have calculators or phones, so you had a scrap piece of paper to work out your calculations. Well, I didn't even use that. And then the gym teacher came along, who was administering the test, looked at my scrap sheet and said, "You can't do that," put a 0 on it and took it away. So of course, being a teenager, I made a big ruckus in the gym. They took me off to the principal office and he said, "No, you can't do it." He gave me a 0, and then the math teacher was there and said, "I know this kid, he can do it." And they stood by the gym teacher's call, gave me a 0, and I quit on the spot and I left school. Well, of course I regret that a little bit later. I ended up going back for my GED. I did grade 11 and 12 in 8 months on a correspondence course and got my GED. Number 2, Well, this one you might be able to guess that traveling is a hobby of mine. And I got my first motorbike when I was 17, and I quickly got addicted to traveling. And after me and my wife met, that's been our hobby ever since, and we've been very fortunate. Been to 5 continents now, 22 countries, I think 33 states, but only 3 provinces. So this year we're going to see the rest of the provinces here in Canada. Now, the number one thing you probably don't know about me, I actually had to leave work when I was 53. And I didn't have to, I chose to. I was having some issues at that time, and it kept on snowballing and getting worse and worse and worse. And so I finally elected to leave to go get some attention for what was going on. And we had a few fatalities at work, and the last fatality really bothered me. And of course it went untreated for a long time, and the company I worked for and the fella I worked for, they never bothered asking or monitoring what was going on. And it really got to a point where it became detrimental to my health. Anyhow, we were in a very good position to be able to say it's time to leave work. And a couple of years later, after getting everything treated, everything's all good. And we're fortunate enough to be in a position where we can now call it retirement, and we can enjoy life. Now, retirement at 55 isn't as easy as it could have been at 65, but we both made the decision it's the right thing to do, and we're out to go enjoy life now. Well, there's the Motovlog Challenge, 2-in-1. Unedited, unstopped, even with the cough in the middle. And 5 things you might not know about me. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Ride safe, and we'll see you on the next video. GoPro, stop recording.